Welcome back to Carly J. Hahn Official. Buckle up, Buttercup. My perspective on clairaudience might ruffle some feathers, but here we go. Today we're talking about clairaudience, also known as psychic hearing, or as I like to call it, when you hear some shit and there's absolutely no one there. Look, clairaudience is one of the most misunderstood psychic abilities on the planet. In the mainstream spiritual world, it gets aggressively watered down into inner whispers and gentle guidance. They try to sell it to you like it's some kind of background track for a spiritual spa session. But here's the actual reality check. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's loud, and sometimes you hear your name being called, even a knock on the door, while you're dead asleep. Then, like a dumbass, you answer hello, or you run to the door and no one's there. It's those what in the actual fuck moments in the beginning. Trust me. If you are tired of vague woo woo spiritual explanations, this is your guide. I am going to break down what this ability actually is, how it works in real life, why your imagination isn't the same thing, and how to stop Googling yourself into a spiral every time it happens. Guilty. So, the core definition is this: clairaudience is the ability to receive sound based intuitive or spiritual information without a physical source. It's words, names, music, and energy. Yes, you can actually hear energy and frequency like I do, or even full conversations that immediately recognized as not coming from your own head. The main difference from just being imaginative is that clairaudient information arrives complete, it's uninvited, and it often interrupts your whole mental flow rather than gently unfolding. You didn't think it up, it just showed up and announced itself like a dramatic guest at a party you didn't even throw. The ability is part of a larger intuitive system. By the way, there are more clairs than you think, even a couple I've recently named. But that's the next video. Clairs, like seeing or clairvoyance, feeling, like clairsentience, and knowing, claircognizance. I'm here to tell you, in my work, clairaudience rarely operates alone. It pairs with another clair to give you the full informational picture. It's a system, people. It's not just a party. In real life, clairaudience feels like sound interrupting awareness. It appears suddenly with zero emotional buildup, and your brain immediately clocks it as external to your normal thinking. For most people, it shows up as hearing your name when no one's there. The classic, did someone call me or am I hallucinating moment. A word cutting straight through silence. A full, complete sentence landing mid thought. Conversations. Yes, conversations. Let me say that again. Full on conversations appearing out of nowhere. You weren't building toward it. You weren't meditating. Don't get me started on the meditation thing. That's later. You definitely weren't trying. It just arrived. That interruption is one of the clearest markers that you are dealing with genuine clairaudience. Why do we panic? Because we were taught hearing equals thinking. So when something arrives that isn't you, your brain goes, where the fuck did that come from? And you immediately Google yourself into a massive, embarrassing spiral. Let's clarify the difference between inner dialogue. Imagination needs participation. Clairaudience does not. Your inner voice has rhythm, your tone, and your emotional flavor. Clairaudient sound usually doesn't. It's often neutral, highly efficient, and honestly, mildly unimpressed with your feelings. You can fabricate a thought all day long. You cannot, however, fabricate surprise. That moment of where the hell did that come from is more diagnostic than any spiritual label. Imagination follows intention. Clairaudience interrupts it. Reality check. Your imagination is too polite to interrupt you mid sentence. Moving on. Is clairaudience internal or external? Both. And switching between them is normal. Sometimes it's perceived internally but doesn't sound like your own dialogue. Other times it feels truly external, like someone spoke right beside you or even behind you. Neither means anything's wrong. Your system just adjusts based on the environment, your focus, and how regulated your nervous system is. When people get stuck on where the sound is coming from, they miss the point. It's about recognition, not location. Also, music is a massive carrier for this information. Songs often appear without conscious recall, but they arrive with immediate recognition, not just vague nostalgia. Music bypasses the analytical filter. It's like hacking the mainframe of your logical brain. Recognition comes first, and the explanation follows later. If a song pops in and carries intense relational meaning, that's information riding a familiar frequency, not just a random memory from college. And yes, it involves guides or ancestors. Ancestral communication is rarely emotional. It doesn't beg, it doesn't dramatize, and it certainly doesn't negotiate. It states clearly. That firmness is actually grounding because they're just trying to inform you, not convince you to do anything stupid. This is where we stop pretending this only shows up as polite intuition. As mentioned, I was once scrolling on my phone in my living room, heard my name clearly spoken, and I answered, "Hello? Is anyone there?" Out loud like a dumbass. But then it gets practical. I can hear energy shift in groups, not symbolically, not metaphorically, but physical and literal. Pressure in my ears, tone distortion, sudden clarity. It's like my says, and I quote, "Okay, bitch, something's off, pay attention." I started tracking these moments, and every time I felt that pressure shift, something unstable surfaced shortly after. Usually manipulation or someone actively omitting the truth. Then there are the sessions with my clients. I'll be talking to a client and suddenly I hear, "Ask her about her dad." No buildup, no reasoning. I ask, and surprise, there's a massive unresolved father wound. Or my personal favorite, mid-session, I heard, "Bitch, tell her now, stop sugarcoating it," which is honestly is my guide's preferred communication style, so don't take it offensively. It's efficient, not poetic. Once I heard black apples while driving. This is early on with my clairaudience. I was like, what dramatic symbolism is this? Turns out it was about not forgetting apples and avocados because they're black. It's practical like that. It can. Now, moving on, we need to talk about anxiety and trauma. Anxiety and trauma can produce intrusive thoughts, but clairaudience behaves differently. Intrusive thoughts are emotional, repetitive, self-referential, and they spiral. Clairaudient input is brief, neutral, precise, and non-repeating. We call this states and leaves rule. True clairaudient information delivers and moves on. It does not hang around to argue with you. If your mind keeps yelling, that's anxiety. If something states once and exits, that's different. Also, the volume of your clairaudience is directly influenced by your nervous system regulation. When you're exhausted, dehydrated, or emotionally flooded, the signal gets louder and messier. Take it from somebody that has experience in this part. When regulated, it gets cleaner. Your nervous system is the amplifier. That's physics, not morality. And if it goes silent, it means nothing needs saying. Silence doesn't mean the ability disappeared. This is not a hotline, people. It activates when clarity is needed. To wrap up, intuition arrives as feeling or knowing and it unfolds. Clairaudience arrives as sound and interrupts. They work together, but they are distinct channels. If psychic smell detects what's hidden, clairaudience detects what's misaligned. You hear when the words don't match the energy. You hear clarity before chaos appears. Some people see truth, some feel it, some smell it, some know it. But some hear it before anyone else is ready to say it.